It's called 127 Hours and stars James Franco as the young climber. James Franco, Danny Boyle, good morning. I love watching your face, Danny, because your mouth is wide open. You made the film. It's like I've never seen it.
That's weird. Yeah, I know I am, but I used to watch him on the monitor, and I'd be like, and you sort of have to live it, and that was the idea. We wanted to live it through him, this Aaron Olson story, which is an amazing story.
It is an amazing story, but when I first heard about you in connection with it, I mean, it's set in this it's a very claustrophobic setting. It's one character, and it involves an amputation. It doesn't sound like the kind of recipes for success. So what led you to it?
Just because I think there was this extraordinary story inside that survival story, where he is an incredibly independent, self-sufficient, perfect specimen at 27, and he's running away from people. And when he gets trapped there, he has to move back to them in his heart. So there's a journey in his heart where he moves back and realises these people, his mom, this girl, friends and family generally, they are the people that will somehow pull him out of there. You know, their strength and his memory of them will somehow give him the courage to do what he has to do in there.
And those people come to him in visions, obviously, when he is trapped. But James, really this movie is mostly about you. It's 90 minutes of you on camera. The whole time, your character. You talked to Aaron, obviously, to prepare for this role. How was it important for you to get to know him?
It was important, especially in the beginning. And actually, the first time I met Aaron, it was a pretty intense experience. Not only because I was going to be playing his life, but when Aaron was trapped, he really made these videos, and so he brought those.
He had a camera down in the canyon. That's right.
That's right.
That plays a big part in this movie.
Exactly. So he had a video camera with him that he was had planned to use just to film the scenery, but once he was trapped, it became a device for him to leave these what he thought were going to be his final messages to him.
And you got to see those. Those had never been released.
Yeah, the first time I met him. Yeah, and yeah, he doesn't show those to anybody other than his family and the people that were mentioned in the video.
And how did that affect you? And what you role?
As you can imagine, they were very intense, very moving. And because the key thing is, when Aaron made those messages, he didn't know that there's a happy ending at the end, and so it was his pure behavior in a way. You know, it was him in the middle of the most intense moments of his life, thinking that he was going to die, and he had accepted it. But the other side of that was the way he delivered the messages were with such, this kind of composure and dignity, because he thought it was the last thing that his mother would ever see of him. And so a very, very moving kind of contrast between what he was thinking and how he was presenting himself.
I want to talk about the amputation scene, Danny, because you must have had a lot of discussion about this. People who have screened the movie, some people have fainted. It is very graphic. It is.
It is, but it's very accurate to what he says in the book. We didn't want to push it into horror, nor do we want to trivialise it, because what he goes through it's extraordinary that you experience it with James, because what comes after it is so much greater than the thing itself. You know, that he's given life back again, this rebirth. I mean, it's literally, Aaron calls it an ecstasy, a euphoria, the most unpromising circumstances, impossible, he's given life back again. And he's always said that he left that canyon a much fuller person than when he went in, despite what he had to leave behind.
Yeah, and that scene lasts about 3 minutes in the film. In real life, it took him 44 minutes to amputate his arm. How do you prepare for a scene like that?
Well, obviously, I've never done anything like that.
Let's hope you never have to.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think the thing about this movie is, most of us will never be in that situation. And Danny really has made a movie that is unlike most movie-going experiences. People come out and they say, that was a unique experience. And so you're really brought along on the ride with the character. And it enables, I think, the audience to ask the questions that the character asks himself. First, when everything's stripped away, what was most essential in my life? What was most important? And for Aaron, it was his loved ones and the connection to his loved ones. And
that he had lost a connection with in some ways.
Yes. Well, that he'd taken for granted. And he realized how valuable, those connections were.
And secondly,
Secondly, that is what gave him the strength to do what he did. And so in that sense, I think, we all kind of have something in us that would enable us to do that if we were ever, in that situation.
And go ahead.
And then, as far as doing that scene, Aaron, walked us through every step of the way, and we had a great, guy who made a great prosthetic, and we were able to shoot in such a way that, maybe this is really boring, sorry. We were able to shoot in such a way that, we do these long takes, and because the prosthetic was so good, we could just kind of do it.
And Aaron, the real Aaron is in the end of the movie along with his wife and his baby, and I understand he very much liked the film.
Oh yeah, when we showed it to him, he was pouring tears down his face. I don't know what it's like for him to see someone else live through it. It's extraordinary, really.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the Oscar buzz too, so well deserved.
Well, we're very lucky to be here, as always. We've learned from last time that you can have no idea about this world, what happens. You must just present your work in as honest and truthful a way as you can, and then you just keep your fingers crossed and hope a lot of people see the movie. Because we made the film, it sounds like a strange movie, but it's for everyone. It's a mainstream movie.
It's a phenomenal movie. I saw it last night, as I said, and it is great. Danny Boyle, thank you so much. James Franco, brilliant.
Thank you.
Thanks.